We're live. We're live,
Is
honey.
that what you said? We're live everywhere right now?
Uh, Already. Just our
Wow, that
Facebook group
was
that I'm going to start now. It was quick because now I've set the settings to always auto play on our stream. So we'll wait a few seconds. I
fantastic.
want to make sure people are joining us. Our
There
first,
is no Zoom link for this. You'll just have to watch it where you're watching it as we speak. Nick and I have decided we thought with the Zoom, it might get us even more emotional, and we're trying to avoid that as much as
yeah,
possible.
I'm just checking to make sure we're live everywhere and that everything's hunky dory. So
I,
give me a second,
I see it
everybody.
in hello and I see it hello Jean-Luc and Nick.
Yeah, and I see the description. So good. I'm going to our page now to make sure it's live there.
I also see it.
Okay, Carol sees it, so Carol's commenting. Okay, there's viewers now. Okay, so I just want to make sure everybody can see us and hear us.
Where are you
So
watching it from?
this is our Facebook group, but you should probably
Uh,
have your iPad open, hun, and have it streaming beside you
Yeah,
so you can
so that
actually see
way
comments.
I can see comments and questions. Well, I can have it on my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, either way, like you could find.
I think my phone might be easier.
Oh,
With my
sorry, we're just
phone.
setting ourselves up because we don't normally do stuff like this. Normally we have people in Zoom with us, but we said, like Jean-Luc was saying, we were we were at the point where we're like, if we have people in Zoom, we'll probably cry a lot because we'll see them cry and it'll make it even harder for us to compose ourselves. So we decided instead to just come online and share you guys what we've gone through the last few weeks. So this is, a session that we're calling Remembering Caicos. Um, it's kind of like Jean-Luc, you want to explain what you were saying earlier? Because I think it's a perfect opportunity to
See,
explain that.
I do. It's kind of really funny because Nick and I have been talking and we've just had been talking about life right now a lot because we lost Caicos and I'm sitting there going, I've gone through a lot of funerals and death in my life. I can be very honest. I remember being very young and was funerals were a huge part of my life because my parents are older and they had siblings that passed. We had uncles, grandparents. I went to a lot of funerals where Nick um did not experience a lot of death in his life. He's 41 years old and death is something that's still very, very un unknown to him. Although we he did lose his grandmother, his dad, and an aunt, if I'm not mistaken, right? Those are the three.
Yep.
And then, of course, pets from home. But this loss was probably, in his own opinion, I'll let him talk about that a little later, is very different from those. And I was like, you know what, hon? It's so funny. Because I've been to funerals before and I've had those moments of being able to say goodbye to people, I feel like people who own pets never get that same opportunity. I'm sure there are people who might have, celebrations for their pets, but um I'm like, why not? Why not celebrate our pet like we would a person in the sense that we love them just as much as we loved anybody else and that as much as we love anybody else in our lives. And I'm not gonna I hope you could take this as you please. I can honestly say we probably love them even more because they're with us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. And even more so because the last 4 years, that was more than even factual. Back in the day, we wouldn't have been as home as much because we would have been working Monday through Friday and we would have been on vacation and so on and so forth. Well, the last 4 years, we were in this condo with both Caicos and Seba nonstop. So we decided to go on tonight for this reason to actually talk to you about exactly what happened as much as we know, because we don't know the entire story as far as how he got sick and so on. But we're not only here to tell you about that because it will help us. And we're being selfish. This is for us. And we know it's for some of you as well, because a lot of you either have met Keikos in person or virtually. And I will say this, he's had a huge, huge impact on a lot of people's lives. So we're going to talk to you guys about what happened on Monday or where we came to our decision, when we came to our decision about doing what we did on Monday.
We're
But
gonna go back a bit more. So a few weeks ago, we noticed that Keikos had a scratch on his eye, and it had gotten infected. So we brought him to the
yeah,
vet to get him checked out. We were given drops to help alleviate the eye infection, and they looked like it worked. We put the drops in, and then we went away
and
another weekend.
Yeah, Lynn came in, was giving him the drops while we left,
Yep.
and
He looked fine. And the following weekend, when we came back, we started noticing that his eye was having issues again. We also started noticing that there was other black stuff appearing along his lips. And we're like, why is there stuff appearing on his skin? Like, why does he have
oh.
all these? So we looked
and
online. It said
and then we
usually
noticed his
his
nose looked a little
nose.
different, like looked
Yeah.
peeling or burnt, or we weren't sure.
So we went to the vet and they said maybe it's cat acne. So we got prescribed a shampoo. And so we started doing the shampoo and he hated us doing this. Like all the stuff, all the treatments we had to do, he did not like.
Oh.
He was not happy with us. And while we were doing the treatment with the face, I was looking at the counter over there and I said, "Hey,
I
Jean-Luc."
was playing with Caicos.
I'm like, "Hey, Jean-Luc, look at his paws. They're all black." And so we picked him up. And noticed that all the insides of each of his paws were all black.
in, be in between the toe beans. It was all black. And then his toe beans were peeling a little bit. They looked scaly and dry. They looked really dry. So we were like, okay, this is weird. And that's when we decided we need to go and bring him back to the vet again.
So when we went back to the vet, we were then he had been given antibiotics the first time. This time we went back, she said, we can try. At this point, his condition had gotten worse. Um, After we had been trying to treat the paws and the face with the shampoo, his chin started to lose all his fur. Um, he had, he had, his eyes were all sunken in. He had infections in his ears. He had scratched himself so hard under his chin that he had a huge gash and he was losing all his fur under his
His
arm.
his lips were
His
all
lips were
swollen.
swollen.
All his bottom lips were all swollen.
Under his arm, he had ripped off all his fur. And by the end, his toes, he had ripped off all of the fur between his toes. So all his nails were all crooked. And he could barely walk because every time he would take a step,
He would shake.
he would shake. He would shake his paws. He would barely walk. So last weekend we went to Niagara Falls. It was the last time we went in, and she said we could try giving him some
Well, there
steroids.
was two options.
Two
It was
options.
either steroids or we can start doing biopsies where they would either do a biopsy on his lip to see if there's anything there and do testing. However, when she did that option, she said, we cannot start the steroids if we do the biopsy because we have to wait the 5 days for the results to actually find out what medication will work. Because if we start the steroids, it's a whole different, like two different ways of doing it. And again, we might be not explaining this 100% correctly, but this is the things that we remember from those moments. So if you're asking why we made the choice we did, that was the choice we made. We
Um, and so something else that
we
once
decided at that point to do the steroids because we thought that was the
yeah,
most humane thing for us to do right now because he was already suffering enough
he
as
was
it was.
suffering so much. He was barely moving out. Literally, the last 3 weeks of his life were spent. The first little while he was in our bathroom, but then when we tried to wash his feet, he got so mad at us, he stopped going in our bathroom. Then he would spend his entire day outside. He barely
He,
hung out with us. He'd
he hid
stopped
under
doing
the
any of
bed
this.
a lot. He hid
He
under the
stopped
bed a
doing
lot.
anything that he normally did. And the last weekend, so this past weekend, we were supposed to go to Toronto Island. That was our original plan. We were supposed to go to a friend's house for their housewarming and birthdays.
On
We were
birthdays.
supposed to do Win in the Walk on Sunday. And we decided on Friday, I was like, hon, we can't leave this weekend. I don't know if he's gonna like, we just need to just stay home with him. And so that's what we did. Friday night, Saturday, we stayed all day. He was not
Well,
around us, but we were home. And
this
every
is
time we,
this is what the vet told us as well, is we have to give it at least 7 days for the prednisone, I think it was called, which is the steroid,
prednisolone or something.
prednisolone to work. At least 7 days to see if there's going to be a change. And from what I remember her saying is the change should happen if it's going to work. You should start seeing it within 5 days, like within the first 5 days.
We
You'll see a
saw like
difference.
the first day he started being a little bit more,
Yeah,
active and then back to doing nothing again. And
nothing.
then his eyes
And
started getting worse again.
And every time we tried to help him or clean him, he would just hate us and resent
Wince.
us even
He
more.
was shaking in our arms. He would shake in
Yeah.
our arms because he was in so much pain. So, so I talked to him. we
We
said
can't hear you, hon.
on
As soon as
Saturday
you go into, yeah, we
and
can't hear what you're saying.
on Saturday when um we talked about it, and I know it was me that had to. Jean-Luc was has said that he knew before, but I couldn't come to terms with it until Sunday. We went on the
I
walk
had,
on Sunday, and we had made a decision before the walk, pretty much that Monday we had an appointment already set up for him to get checked up on his 7 days, and we said we're not going to make him suffer anymore. He's in so much pain, and he's not happy, and he's not enjoying life. He's a fun cat, my son, in all the
hon,
videos. I know I
no,
can't.
I know. That's why, no, you have to, yeah, that's the hard part is no one can understand what you're saying. So I apologize, hon.
So it's really so we made the decision on Sunday. On Monday morning, um, we both wrote to our works, told them that what was happening. They told us to take the day. We took this blanket. So Jean-Luc has a video on his phone of the entire day. We actually videoed the whole time. All of us, we filmed. We had a final meal with Seba. Caicos had a final meal with Seba. We had him say goodbye to his brother. And then um and then that day we didn't give him any meds. We just gave him a meal. We would had him eat. That's his final meal right there. And then we wrapped him up in this blanket because um he used to love his carrier, but he by this point hated his carrier because of going to the vet with it. So I knew he would traumatize him. So I wrapped him up in this blanket, held him in my arms, and we took him down the stairs. I got in the car without a seatbelt. I'm gonna say it. Come and arrest me now if you want. Got in the car without a seatbelt. I sat in the
You're
back seat,
funny, honey.
and Jean-Luc drove us to the vet. Keikos was in my arms the whole time. I was talking to him, telling him how much we loved him. Jean-Luc was saying it too from the front. And he was just sitting in my arms. He didn't even fight it. He looked out the window. It's the first time he ever got to see out the window, so he was just sitting there mesmerized by the outside world. We got to the vet. He only tried once to really get out of my grip, and that was when we got to the vet, but he didn't try afterwards. When we walked in, we told them right away that we're not, we're done. Like he can't, we can't keep going with him like this. They brought us right away to a room. Um, the vet tech came in to the one that had seen Keikos a lot, came in, gave us a hug each. She, gave Keikos a hug and said goodbye to him. Um,
She was very, very sweet. She was a really, we can't thank the vet enough. You could tell how emotional she was because she came in and she was crying with us. She honestly was like, I know how hard it is for you guys to do this. She goes, I do this often. It's part of my job, and it's never easy to see people have to let go of the pet that they've loved.
especially the loved ones, like especially we were so like we were crying and the whole place hurt us basically.
Oh yeah, we walked out weeping.
Yeah,
But they were
so
great. They let us stay in the room for quite some time. So when she came in, she explained exactly what was going to happen. And it was great because you need to know, right? And like we said earlier, we knew ourselves. And I apologize if we ever insulted anybody saying you should be in the room. We can't tell you how you feel. We needed to be personally in the room with Keikos. We knew we needed to be the last thing he saw because we wanted him to remember us and how much we loved him. So she brought him in and she's like, we're gonna have to give him some type of muscle relaxer. I don't know exactly. There's something else to it, but she had to put it in his muscles, and she said he might actually whimper because usually that hurts them even if they're in much pain. And no lie, she came in and she
no
gave it to him. Not
reaction.
even a reaction. He sat on the
He,
he sat on the table and he
you
just
want to
was
show the video of him? So when we first got there, he was walking around, and and then
he wasn't walking around.
on the floor
He
when you
just
pet
sat
him.
on the floor with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then and so yeah, so they gave him the relaxant. Then she took him out of the room to put in an IV for him. Before we took him out, we had to sit with him for a bit because it took time for the drug to take effect. So we just sat with him. We talked to him. We have a video of that as well of us. snuggling him up and giving him some love. Um, and and we then we then she then came back in when we had um, spent we had the IV in, and she said asked us if when let us know when you're ready. And I said, I said right away, I said I think we're
I
ready
have
because
to.
he was in so much pain. This is not like he's ready to, you could tell he was ready to go. He didn't fight at all.
He was a little angel. He didn't fight at all. So the
So
doctor came in and there was two shots. She put the
and
one into the IV.
we asked, can we please hold him? We wanted to
Yes,
hold
can
him
we
when he
hold him?
passed away. She said yes, but he might empty his bowels and pee after he does. So I'd rather
And
get
we were like, we don't care.
and we're like, we don't care. And she's like, well, I'll get you something just in case. So she got us a pee
A pee
pad. We put
pad.
that, and then we put the blanket on top. We then put him in our lap. So that picture that I posted online of this is right before he died. So right after those pictures were taken, she took them for us. She then brought in the two needles, gave it to him. We held him in our arms and said that we loved him. And then he passed away. He went lived in our arms
Instantly.
instantly. She said it could take a while. Some animals it takes a while. He was already ready to go. We then put him on a table. She checked his heart. He had already been gone. And so we both kind of lost it there. We cried a lot. They let us stay in a room for a while to
We were
just
there for at least a good 30 minutes with him, at
with
least.
him. We took pictures of him passed away as well. And people might say, "Well, why would you do that? Why would you want to?" And you know what? Um,
I'll say it, hun. The reason why we did this, and it's for us. I'm not saying we might not post it. So if it's something you don't want to watch, you don't have to, but we need this. It's closure. It's also seeing where he was at and knowing that we made the right decision in doing what we did because it wasn't the same. He wasn't the same cat anymore. He was not the Caicos we've always known. He was still Caicos that we loved, but we knew that we would never be able to bring him back to what he was. And we're not saying that we should have, but he would never had a good quality of life. There was no way his quality of life would have been what it needed to be. Yeah.
and and so one of the things too that I'm having a problem with, and I'm going to share now is we want to get through all the sad parts. That picture that you saw of the heart, it was after Keiko's passed away. We held his paw and took that photo. So the photo on Jean-Luc's profile right now is after he had passed away, and we held his paw. Um, like we said, we cried for a while. We will be getting a photo urn. So it's a stand-up photo holder with his urn and his paw print on one
And his
side,
footprint and being
and then his
his
picture on the
ashes
other.
as well in it, and his ashes in it as well.
We decided we want to remember him. We don't want to. He was really important to us, so we don't want to forget him. We want to make sure
He
that
was my he was my first.
yeah, he was.
I had pets growing up, but I never had anything that lasted very long. This was my first, my from a baby. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and that was our little baby. And he makes us smile. I look at this stuff now and I smile at it. I think of the good stuff because that's what we are all about. We were about the good memories because we have to. It's not easy. It's not easy. On Monday was a very rough day. Like it was, no, actually, Monday was a dream. Monday did not feel real. Monday was just, we just lived the emotions all day. We didn't work. We sat down and no lie. Pardon me. We did not eat what we should have ate. I think we ordered food that day. We've ordered food the last couple of days. We're honest people. We're not perfect. And we've had some cocktails as well. Thank goodness the LCBO's on strike because we'd probably be drinking a lot more.
yeah.
But
There's another side too. So part of the reason why I'm also having a hard time is because I blame myself. So after I we found out with Keiko's pause, I did research online, which you should never do. research online led me to read that when cats get that kind of symptom is because they step in chemicals. And I remember a few weeks ago, I had was doing clean shower and I sprayed the Lysol cleaner in the shower and I had to go do something. So I walked out, closed the shower door, but didn't close the bathroom door. And when I came back, it was a crack open. And so I
And Caicos is
assume,
very prone to go into our shower.
and that's why his four paws are burnt and his nose was burnt because he walked.
Take a few minutes, huh? So Nick feels a lot of guilt. Nick has a lot of guilt thinking that he's blaming himself for what happened. And we can't in any way we can't in any way say that it could not it's potentially partly has something to do with it. There's no way of knowing, and we'll never know. But that guilt that he lives with is something that he's having a hard time with, and he's struggling with that a lot. And whenever he was telling me this, I would always say, it's okay. No, hon, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And I get it. That's what we all want to say. But all he was looking for was just allowing him to feel that guilt. And so finally, I have been allowing him to feel that guilt because what he's allowed to feel it. There's nothing wrong. So what I have learned in that respect is to make sure he realizes that there's no blame on my part towards him. Like the blame that he feels is his own, but he's gonna learn he has to learn on how to manage that because I can't manage that blame that he has on his own. But for him to know that I have no blame on him whatsoever. I also very strongly believe that Caicos was also very ill. There was something else wrong that could possibly have triggered it, but I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Things happen and we can't change what has happened, but we can learn from it. We can learn from it. No lie. There ain't no the Lysol spray in this house ever again. Not even, we don't care. So the first thing, we can't hear you, hun.
Sorry,
There
I
you go.
muted myself.
We decided, Ted, I started looking for non-toxic to animal cleaners. We are going to use anything that makes sure that it's animal safe. Um, and it's and we have to 100% know that he lived the best life. He had an amazing life. He was a spoiled little brat.
Mhm.
He was a spoiled little brat. You all know it. You've all seen it. These two cats have been our babies. And we can't say that Saba has not like picked up where his brother has left off. Saba has kicked it up a notch. He has not left our side. He is sleeping right now in
He
the
slept here today,
slept
Keikos' old
beside Nick.
spot. He put his paw on me like Keikos used to do. So he's you know he's taking the spots, and we can tell that he's looking for his brother. We can tell that
Yes.
he's looking for him. Every time we have dinner so far, he's always looking over like, is he coming up? Is he where is he? And he's not seeing his brother.
And another thing too, the other day he walked to the bedroom, right into the bathroom, and Keikos has been sleeping for the last like month, and was like, you could tell him going, okay, wait a minute, where is he? He's not here. And then when we opened the balcony door the other day, what did you do? Run to the corner and then right underneath the table where either Keikos was at the corner or underneath the couch. So we could see him looking. And at night, he's doing his cat calls for his brother and it's not his regular meow because Saba has a very soft, high pitched
When he's
meow.
calling his brother, it's a different meow, and he
It's a
was
very
doing it
different
right
meow.
now.
And he's doing that. So we know he's calling for his brother. So we know he misses him. But we actually also think they might not they loved each other, I'm sure, but we don't know how attached they were because Keikos didn't like to be bothered by Saba and Saba wanted to cuddle all the time.
Yeah.
So
So for me, the struggle, Jean-Luc told me to go see the doctor because I was really struggling up to yesterday. I hadn't been sleeping blaming myself for what happened. I was kept reliving in my head the scenarios over and over again. I just couldn't sleep. I kept wake, and if I woke up to go to the bathroom, I would then stay awake for another hour. I couldn't fall back asleep, so I was just barely getting any sleep. So I had to miss a day of work. I missed a
We
day,
missed
2 days
Monday,
of work.
Tuesday. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we work
yeah,
Wednesday,
yeah,
Thursday, Friday. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
And the
tomorrow.
thing is, too, guys, is you have to understand we live in a condo that's not very big. So Caicos is
It's everywhere.
everywhere. We even that one day, this I think it was on Tuesday, Nick was wearing one of our Hello at Jean-Luc and Nick t-shirts, and he looked down and he's like, Caicos. He saw Caicos caricature and just broke down in tears. Um, we have a Caicos pillow on our chair over there. We have a crocheted Caicos right beside me when I work, where that Rosie made us. We have a painted rainbow picture of Caicos in our bathroom. We have a portrait of Caicos on our wall that our Freddie Lane painted for us. I
All
mean,
these
we
things
have
are reminders of him. And it's just funny, like people say that we don't, we know we had to do the decision we had to make. We're not
we are not
sad that
upset about having to put him down.
we're upset because we miss
We
him
miss him.
so much. We miss him so much. He was such a big part of our lives. He was
He
in
was the
everything we
character
did.
in our life.
Yeah, he was in everything we were doing. Anything we did, he was part of it because he always was having a nose in everything we did. And even when people came over, he never hid. He was around everybody. He always hung out with everybody. We had parties back when he was younger at our house, and there was like 60 plus people in our house sometimes. And he would just walk around like he didn't give a damn about who was there. He just got petted, and everyone loved hanging out with him.
I'm gonna remember good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So
He
I
was
went to the doctor on Tuesday.
yes.
I got some medication to help me sleep. Last night was the first night I slept a full night in days. And then this morning, I finally woke up feeling a lot better. So today's been my first. I cried once today until now because I knew I would cry now. We couldn't do these sessions. We had said last 2 days at 7 p.m. we
Oh,
should
we
go
wanted
live,
to. No.
and we couldn't because I knew I couldn't get through it. I could barely get through talking to my mom. I didn't talk to my mom for 2 days. I didn't talk to anyone. That's why we posted that they give us time because I couldn't, I was literally in a hole I could not get myself out of. And I'm glad that I'm out of it. So I'm thankful, Jean-Luc, like I said, he's so cute. I'm thankful, he said to, yeah.
You
Okay. So that's the
too.
sad part of the evening. So Keikos is gone. Um, what's
But
happened
he's
since?
here.
He's here, but what's happened since? So, we did some redecorating in the condo. Um,
Can't
our,
do much, but just a little bit.
but we moved the water from beside the TV to where the food used to be back in the day. So now it's back
It's
where
actually
it's
underneath the condo.
like the
There
tower
you go.
now. It looks pretty cool,
It's
actually. It
very
looks like a
pretty.
So that's been moved. We moved our chair to the corner. So we just did a few changes just to um, make the place look slightly different to help us kind of move forward. We're even going
It
to
was
get
hard to vacuum the other day. I'm not gonna lie. It was tough. There was orange fur everywhere.
everywhere.
And so even Nick said it was almost like we were slowly eliminating him from our lives, although he's everywhere still. Like there's no way.
Yeah,
And he's not going anywhere. We're leaving him
no.
where he is because he's meant to be in this. He needs to be in this house.
We are getting rid of one scratch post, his scratch
Yes,
post.
his scratch post has
That's
to
been
go.
destroyed, and
Oh my God.
we're
He
gonna
was the only
replace
one
it.
that used it.
Yeah,
His
and we were also. What, you gonna want to announce it, honey?
Yes, we're expecting everybody. We are expecting, so stay tuned for two new.
Oh no, send the word out. We are
Oh,
looking
well, we
to.
are actively looking to adopt two new kittens in the fall. So, September, October-ish, depending. Like, we'll have to make a decision as far as when we're away and how we want to make sure we're home for as long as possible to take care of
But we
them.
want to adopt two more kittens. Two, two. Don't listen to him. Keep saying three. I'm saying two. Well, no, I told him he needs to check with the combo board first. So he needs to check first if we're allowed to have three more because I think it's only up to three. So two, two, two,
We'll
two.
see who wins.
Stay
I,
tuned.
I'm gonna make sure I trick him.
So we are seeking. We're gonna have two more kitties to add to our family for a few
We don't think
reasons.
se Yeah, one of the reasons is we want, first of all, we need the life in the house. Having Seba here, he's a lovely kitty and we love him to pieces, but he's also 12 years
He's
old.
12.
So not saying we're not thinking he's going anywhere because he is healthy. He's a
He's
great
very
cat.
healthy.
We do have one thing we're gonna have him check. He's licking himself furless. Like there's spots on him that he's, so we think he's an anxious cat. So we're going to see if we can help him with that because we don't want that to get any worse. But there's no scars or bleeding or anything like that. It's just he gets a lot of fur balls, that kitty. And then the other reason is keeping him young,
Yeah,
make
the
him more
vet
active.
he has to lose weight anyway, so we thought adding two kittens would allow him to be more playful because
Yep.
he would most likely, and we know for a fact that Caicos loves Caicos. Seba loves other animals. Whenever we have ever had pets visit, so we've had pets visit three times. Once was a cat, was their brother,
My
and
brother,
Seba
Steven loved it.
Seba loved it. Seba wanted to hang out with him, but his brother wanted nothing to do with him, and Keikos wanted nothing to do with the other cat. So, and Keikos was confused, like, why is there two black cats here? Why is there two Sebas? And
I
so that
remember.
was
Yeah, it was very, it was, yeah, because they hadn't had the other one yet.
no, no. And
Because they
then
ended up getting an orange, the orange one, their sibling later on. They ended up
back from
getting back from
Leslie.
somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we also had to meet a dog once, and Seba was intrigued by the dog, and we had them meet Beatrice once, quickly, and Seba had no problem.
No,
Keiko's
Caicos was not a
hissed,
happy camper.
Seba was happy. So we think that Seba will be easy to introduce to kittens, and he'll want to snuggle with them. He will so enjoy being snuggly with two kittens.
Do you
Two.
guys also want to hear something else? Um, do you want to hear something else that this whole situation has potentially made us realize? We might be able to handle a dog. Not saying
Hmm.
we're getting one anytime soon, but
We know the dog breed we
we
want.
know the kind of dog we want too. But I'm not saying that's going to happen soon. I really, if we ever
And
even think
we already have an idea for a name too.
we do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. But that's still a lot. That's like far from now. It's when we travel less because we know having a dog is a different responsibility. We're not going to say it's more or less. Actually, it is more responsible because the dog depends on you a lot more.
Yeah.
Although I will say this, we are very, 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 very lucky because all you know, Keikos was diabetic. So we had some amazing friends that would come and spend the week or weekends whenever we were away with Keikos and Seba in order for Keikos to get his shots. Well, Keikos isn't with us anymore, but Seba is still here. And we can't see Seba being left alone for a week or a weekend anymore. And so those lovely friends of ours have still agreed to keep their weekends with Seba, so that way he's not left alone because Seba doesn't know what it's like. Like he's always had somebody with him again because of COVID and because of Keiko's being sick. We can't do that to him. We can't leave him alone with
He'll remove all
nobody.
his fur.
Oh my God, we would come
We come
home to
after a hairless cat.
we would get a Sphinx exactly, or the ones like your mom had basically.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that. And then plus we're trying to, you know, make them want to keep coming over to play with kittens when we go away, so the kittens aren't left alone. But we'll see how that goes.
So yeah, we're moving forward. We miss him a lot. We still cry, but
Uh,
like I said, it's slowly getting a little easier. We're going away tomorrow. We are flying to Las Vegas. We were actually going on vacation. Um, we had planned this vacation a long time ago. It's part of the reason as well that we couldn't see Keiko's making it through all this time with us being away. He was so sick, and so having us to give that responsibility to someone else as well, and him passing away while we were here. No, we wanted to make sure that he had the best experience. And I think and that's another reason why we wanted to see the video. We look at it now and we see it as something that's beautiful now. We remember his last moments as something that, I think we showed him the proper
We
way to
showed him how
go.
much we loved him.
Yeah.
We showed him how much we loved him, that we wanted to make sure that he was at peace and that he knew that he was loved and will be loved for the rest of our lives. We will love him for the rest of our lives because we loved him for his entire life.
So Vegas this week. And then when we come back in August, we'll start doing step again. So we want to get back to our regular schedule.
We need to do something.
And then in end of August, we'll be going to the West Coast. So if you're watching this right now, we are coming towards your cities, Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon, Victoria, Calgary, and Vancouver. So we are coming to all of your cities. So if you want to meet us and come for a walk with us, and just hang
Or
out, take some
lunch or
selfies,
whatever
or
we're
lunch
doing.
or dinner, just go to our website, jeanlucandnick.com, scroll down, you'll see ways to register to come and hang out with us. We are finalizing the details of what we're doing after we come back from our trip from Las Vegas. And then in the fall,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned
We'll
for the
talk about
fall.
it more in August. Just stay tuned.
I mean, it's nothing extravagant, but stay tuned because we have to figure out
Yeah, how you want to do this.
how we
So,
want to do this. So have a
so
great night, everybody. Thank you so much for all the support, the love. There's some of you that have reached out to us, and we don't expect everybody to reach out to us. We can't believe we've had over 400 likes and on that post of Caicos. And it goes to show you how loved he was and how loved we are, and we appreciate the love. It really has made us feel good. So I apologize if we haven't liked everything. Nick
I'm
has
trying
tried
to, and I got
now
banned
that
on
he can.
Facebook for 6 hours. Well, I'll explain. I couldn't read comments the last 2 days because every time I'd
No,
read one, I'd just start
we
crying
just
again.
cry.
So I just posted and I just walked away so I could not like get overly overwhelmed with the emotional response I would get from the comments. And so today I've actually started going through people's posts and comments, but I was liking and I got banned because I was liking too much. So I stopped. So I'll keep going in a bit. I'll keep liking your comments.
On another note, have you noticed everybody? Listen to my voice. I don't go nasally anymore. I'm way less Kermit the Frog than I've ever been. I'm so excited. I'm feeling semi-normal. We were just saying how, not gonna lie, everybody, 2024 has not been our year,
Yeah.
but we're still smiling.
The dog breed is Dachshund, everybody wondering.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to guess. I'm like, it's Dachshund.
It's Dashin. We're debating if we want short hair or long hair, but we want a unique color if we ever did it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's so. I want kitties even before there's a dog. So that's not even
Dogs is the years from now.
years. We're like
It's just,
10, 15,
it's
20,
just
30 years.
by the end, Caicos was no longer using his litter. So the last 2 weeks, Jean-Luc and I have had to learn how it is to pick up cat poop on the floor and cat urine. And we both got through it for the love of our cat. And then
We
we did it.
did.
So I was telling him, like, if we can do it for a cat, and we love Dachshunds, the two of us go crazy. Every time we see them, we go crazy because they're
Their little
so cute.
legs.
I can't stand
But you
them.
know why we like that breed too? Because they remind us of a cat. They have that same size of a
Yeah,
cat. That's why we like
yeah.
them. They have the long bodies, shorter legs.
Yes, and Lynn's gonna be watching Saba this week while we're away. So Saba's gonna be well taken care of. She'll send us some pictures. We know he's gonna be loved, so we're not scared about going away.
We know coming back next week is not going
It's
to
gonna be
be
hard.
easy when we come home, but we're hoping that we're able just to get through it and just keep moving because that's what we have to keep doing. And you have to do that for any loved one. As difficult and as challenging as it is, you're allowed to mourn. And that's what we want. And we're lucky that we're where we're at today because you know what? We've allowed ourselves for the last 3 days of nonstop, like blubbering, crying,
It happens.
which it can still happen and we'll probably see it from time to time, but that's okay. Things, as I say often, things never get easier. We just get better at them. And this goes with this as well. And all these memories, like all these videos we're finding right now, we always thought in our mind that we'd always have time to post them.
And we never did because we got so much cat videos that which one do you post?
I never realized how many cat videos I have on my phone. Like I never realized.
I love it. Like I didn't know the videos. I have videos of myself too with Caicos on my belly. I have other videos that I'll probably share, other pictures that I'll share throughout the next little while as we keep mourning his. And I just wanted to also warn everybody on our trip. I might not share as readily as I normally do on our trip because I think I want to take some time off while we're in Vegas. So I might save my pictures for when we return. But I'll see how I feel. If I'm feeling okay, I might post right away. But if I don't, Jean-Luc is saying I probably will right away.
I know him way too well.
I know,
Um,
I probably
I,
will.
I I just went onto my phone and it's really cool because if you have an iPhone, you could look at how many pictures. And I have a category called cats because it identifies if there's a cat in the picture. And I only have approximately 931 cat pictures that are actually on
Let me
my
see what
phone.
mine says. Let me see what mine says. Cats. Is that everything? Like 2019. Oh, I have one with Caicos and Rosie. See, look, there's a picture of Caicos and oh,
No,
uh, 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 right here. Caicos and Rosie. There we go. And then I was looking for the kitten pictures the other day, but I couldn't find them.
I found them on Facebook. I showed you a few.
Yeah.
But then this is another one that I loved, and I found this one the other day. I'm sorry for boring you guys with cat pictures, but you know what? Too bad.
Our feed.
Look at that. I caught their tails and it kind of looks like a heart.
Selfie with my Caicos.
Oh, he's such a look at this. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. How could we not fall in love with that monster? That's not it. You can't see it. It's too dark. Well, look at him. Look at him. Look at it. Urgh.
He was so cute.
He was such a cute cat. Beautiful to the end.
Yeah.
So on that note, it's already 8 o'clock. Thanks again for indulging us and allowing us to have our, you know, I don't even know what you want to call it, but our memorial for Kratos, because this is basically what it is. It was a way to let us celebrate his life and what he's given to us. So, and thank you for being a part of our lives. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you all.
Have a good week. We'll see you at the end of July.
Vincent just stays in Vegas.
We can't hear you, so whatever you said there,
I
nobody
said
heard.
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Bye.